Hello everybody and welcome to Dynamic GT League's Race 5 of the Radical Series from Croix. And joining us on commentary is Ray as we take a look at the standings. How are you, Ray?
I'm doing very well for the second time.
Oh, fantastic. Hope your teeth are nice and clean.
Yep. Extra mouthwash.
Extra mouthwash. Okay, Steve F1 leading the standings by 11 points. And then it's quite close between everybody else, right?
Well, Damon R, yeah, he's close to SGP, but there's a bit of a gap back to Critical. But then Critical, SRI, Nelly, Artwell are all pretty close.
Yeah, quite close together. So as we take a look then at the grid, Steve F1 on pole position. Put a great lap time in as we're looking a little bit gloomy here at Croix. Although no rain forecast as SGP will start from second place.
Yeah, and then in third place we've got Damon R. I thought he would have been a wee bit faster. And then fourth place, SRI, not much practice. And then Critical, not that far behind them in fifth.
Artpal, 6th place, and then we've got Nelly, who did actually say he wasn't going to make the race, but then turned up, so a bit confusing. Then we've got Twilight in 8th place, Jimmy in 9th, and Rich Blues in 10th. A couple of drivers letting us know on race day they weren't going to be able to make it. Jason, Bob, and somebody else I can't remember. I do apologise. As we're at 3 lights, Gary, that's it, 4 lights, 5 lights, and away! Le go in Le Croix, and it looks like Steve F1 has got a decent start. Now this track is a very tricky one, folks. A very high speed first sector into a couple of twisty corners. So we'll see how the drivers get on here as SRI trying to go around the outside of Demon R, but perhaps runs a little wide, but not as wide as Nelly, who smashes the barrier.
Yeah, now SRI's got Critical behind them, but Critical's hit the brakes for this Wrigley section.
Interesting. I mean, maybe not realising that you can go. Oh, someone was very wide down. It was Twilight. You're perhaps not realising you can go into the sort of turn 2 at full acceleration. Maybe need a little lift partway through the car. Okay, now we are on to the fastest part of the circuit. A long bend away. That is a straight with a bend in it. But yeah, slipstream should be quite powerful here, Ray. But we've got a bit of a gap growing between 3rd and 4th at the moment, and SRI coming under a lot of pressure.
Yeah, he's got Critical up behind him. Critical's been showing some pace in the past few races.
And he has all SGP's gone wide through the uphill left hand. He's lost the position. Well, has he lost the position over the crest of the hill? Got to be on the brakes early to get it slowed down for this tricky little 90-degree corner on to the bridge, and SGP has dropped that position. SRI holding on. Yeah, the left-hander there, Ray. It's one of those corners where it's so easy to go over the crest of the hill, isn't it? But if you do that and then brake, you're not going to go very fast on the bridge.
Nah, you're going to hit into the bridge.
Absolutely, and to be fair, the corner at this end of the bridge as well, again, if you brake too late, it's a horrible corner. Demon R's got a bit of a run on Steve F1 here. Steve F1 was about half a second quicker, I think, or 2 or 3 tenths faster than SGP in qualifying, but I don't think the top 3, any of them got a preferred lap in as Critical still behind SRI. Now, we've got to remind everybody, haven't we, Ray, about pit stops?
Yep, you can't pit until it says lap 4 in that top left-hand corner.
Sorry, I'm really thirsty today, and I don't know why. Maybe it's something to do with the alcohol I was drunk over on the weekend. Okay, on the pack cab.
It wasn't that much.
No, it wasn't. Well, it wasn't, to be fair. Well, it was for you. You sort of too from your arse, but there you go. Demon R's got a bit of a run.
That was revenge.
Revenge on completely wrong choice. Anyway, yeah, something interesting with this turn 2 here. It'll be interesting to see if we see drivers turning in sort of late to catch the second apex, whereas the grip is really there on the inside, so you want to be nice and tight on the inside. Twilight trying to go round the outside, but that's not quite good.
I thought he was going to get the grass arrows, came back to have a wee tap at Nelly, but they're all still living. There's Rich Blues at the back of them. Rich going to bum one of them, or is he going to go for a overtake?
He's going for a switch back. He's got a good opportunity. If he actually bump drafts Twilight, they could make some spaces here on the pack of Steve F1 heading into the uphill left-hander. Very tricky corner, very easy to run wide. There is a bump in the middle of it as well. Yeah, so Critical coming under a lot of pressure from Art Powell. SRI's broken away a little bit. The other place there's a bump, actually, a nasty one, is the other end of the bridge. If you go in too quick, it can bounce you all the way over to the barrier. So you can see how the drive's going there. Rich having a look at the inside. Is Art Powell going to have a look at the inside? He's having a look. Oh, no, things better. Critical's deep. Critical went deep. Oh, he's got away with it. Yeah, it's so easy to do.
It'll be a little bit offline coming up here, so maybe Art Powell might have the run on him. Let's see, as we can see him on the pack cam. He's getting a little closer. Yeah, he's got a bit of a run.
Sorry, Demon R just got really close to the back of Steve F1. I literally closed that gap up in one corner. If Steve F1 dipping a wheel on the grass, that might make his tyres a little bit dirty into this left-hander. Two different lines going through. Oh, Steve F1 wide into the barrier.
I thought Damon R was going for the pit side the way his car angled out, but yeah, so Damon R takes the lead of this race. I don't think Steve F1 would be too worried just now because it's 15, 16 points back to Demon R.
Yeah, something like that. There's quite a gap. At the moment, his fight is sort of against SGP. But also, there's a long way to go in this race. As for strategy, Twilight.
Twilight.
That's that wider line, that sort of wider entry I was on about. It doesn't really help you. But it's one of those things if you're not going to practice.
He's got that corner there where he likes to go wide out the exit of.
Well, I think a big part of that, because he's wide in the two sort of right-handers, he then sends him wide in the left, which then means he ends up wide again. So I don't think it's necessarily by choice. It's where he's ended up with Art Powell. Got another run on Critical here. May need to try and make this move. See if he's got the pace, because I think Nelly's going to pull up the inside. He's having a look. He's tagged the wall though.
Oh, he's hit. And Twilight's hit the other wall.
Critical nearly hit the barrier as well as Jimmy and Rich now side by side. Oh, Twilight, was late on the brakes there. Came over there. Oh, Rich got massive sideways there. I think trying to avoid Nelly.
I think Nelly, Art Powell were fighting around that corner and slowed them down that little bit more than what Rich was attempting. I can't say the word.
Attempting.
Anticipate.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
Nelly.
no.
Yeah, Nelly with a big spin. Anticipating. You're right there, Pet. Anticipating. SGP's got a run on Steve F1.
I've got my Jordan jumper on.
Oh, don't tell me my headset's just gone again.
I can hear you.
That's alright, I just heard a ba-dong. As long as you can still hear me, that's fine. SGP closed up on Steve F1 in the same corner that Demon R did. He's got a bit of a run on Steve F1 here, but nowhere really to go. Now with the Steve
F1's wide.
He is, isn't he? Missing the apex by a mile there. Maybe he's perhaps a little bit concerned that he's losing time in that penultimate corner, and perhaps trying to gain it back in the final corner, and it's not quite working at the moment. Twilight is right up. Oh, was that bit?
I've never seen it.
Twilight on the back of Arp.
Yeah, just a little bit of contact into turn one, but they survive. As you see, these two, they're not really close yet, but they're getting there. And SRI's just out in the wilderness itself the now. And then we've got that big pack of cars, but it looks like he's slowly gaining on. Oh, Twilight! Oh!
That's one way to go out of a corner. I think Demon R had a bit of a moment through the
Reckles had the moment.
Oh, yes,
Arpal's going to get him. He had a moment coming out the hairpin with the tank zapper.
Has he got the move done? No, I don't think he is not done. Twilight's tyres will be a little dirty as SGP is on the back of Steve F1 into the uphill left-hander. Critical has tucked in behind Arpal. Oh, Demon R's gone wide into the barrier. I said he had a moment in the first sector. He's just had another one. Critical's done the same thing, and here comes Rich Blues. Oh, he's tagged the back of Critical though. Steve F1 nearly running a little bit wide at the bridge. SGP looking at making the move, and SRI, he is right there, isn't he? So I think the gap has come down a little bit. Okay, left-hander at the end of this bridge. Tricky little bugger. Let's see how they get on. Steve F1 has backed out of it early. Probably to make
he had his kart on pin more though than SGP, so he might have a better run coming up the hill. SGP's going a bit wide.
Yeah, carries the speed though. Twilight on the back of the Blues on the pack up. Steve F1 having a look at the outside of SGP. Yeah, okay, so I was going to mention a moment ago, 16 lap race. Nobody's getting 8 laps out of the tyres, so I think the strategy is going to look a bit more like 4 lap stints. And if we look at SGP's tyres, it might look like it could do 1 more lap. And if you do 2 5-lap stints, you're going to need a 6-lap stint. And at the moment, SGP hasn't got the tyres for 6 laps, and they're going for the pits, so it is 4 laps. No, SGP isn't!
No, he's dummy that.
Aye, that he has. So Demon R, Steve F1, SRI, Arpal, Critical in the pits. Okay, that'll be interesting for where those pitters will funnel out. Interesting.
I'm just keeping an eye on the fuel. Steve F1's filling up. Demon R didn't fill up. SRI's filling up.
Yeah, Demon R is only through turn 1.
Critical didn't fill up. Arpal didn't fill up. Steve F1 has filled up, and SRI's filled up because he's behind them.
I'm wondering whether Arpal and Critical have not filled up but have put a little bit of fuel in, because they were in the pits a lot longer than Demon R was. Okay, we'll be able to tell when we do get to have a look at them. So Nelly here on Twilight hasn't pitted, so they're obviously on a 5-lap stint. But we'll see that tyre wear, especially at the corner they're coming up to, not the kick, the uphill left-hander. That rear right tyre is going to take some pain around there, isn't it,
Yeah. It's going to scrub a lot. And, even the last sector is going to have a wee bit of scrub, so let's see if it holds on for him as he comes round this left-hander here.
Yeah, he was having a look around the outside, couldn't quite get it done. Can they get slowed down before they run over the bridge? Yes, they can.
Yeah, nice wee battle here for second place for the now. But yeah, there's Demon R, he's got Jimmy behind him.
Yeah, Demon R is literally just past Jimmy. There's Nelly having another look at Twilight, now into the left hand at the end of the bridge.
Twilight's wide.
I think he was giving him space, and still giving him space. Arpal on the pack cab, now behind Jimmy as well. Jimmy hasn't pitted as Twilight, Nelly side by side, a little squirrely. I think these two will be heading into the pits at the end of this lap, as well as SGP. And it's getting very foggy now, Ray.
Yeah, here's this battle. It's Arpal's got past Jimmy now, and now Critical's going for a move down the inside. Jimmy might get the run out of the corner because the way Critical had to go in quite tight.
I think.
The corner, so we'll see.
What?
Well, depends. Jimmy's tyres are fucked.
Well, that's what I was going to say. Yeah, the Critical's fresh tyres on Jimmy's old tyres. It's no contest, really. SGP Nelly, Twilight into the pit. Jimmy hasn't pitted, though, so feels he can get another lap out of them. He has got Steve F1 and SRI right behind him. Demon R now leading the race. SGP topping up that fuel. Is Nelly doing fuel as well?
Oh, don't know.
I think he was.
Three wide.
Go on.
Three wide. SRI's got 2 places. He took Steve F1 as well.
Oh, what a lovely move. You wouldn't think they were roommates. Okay, so Steve F1 did take a full tank of fuel. That'll help for faster pit stops later. Surprised Demon R didn't put fuel in. Steve F1 trying to make a move on the back of SRI now. Probably will just bump draft down this straight to try and close up to Critical. The pack camper, Rich Blues, excuse me, who is on the back. Oh no, he's not on the back! Oh, he's had a big spin. He's only just come out of the pits as well, I believe.
Was it? I don't know, I wasn't watching when they pitted, but where did they spin then? Is that up the top of the hill?
No,
First sector?
First sector, yeah, turn 2 and 3. Looked like he ran a bit wide, dipped a wheel, so Steve F1 wasn't able to make the move on SRI. I wasn't watching that, I was watching Rich Blues with his little spinny winny. SRI has
SRI's good at that,
he made a bit of a gap to Steve F1, yeah, but also closed in quite a bit on Critical. Art Pal breaking away from Critical a little bit. The thing is, it can happen around this particular track. Critical's deep, Critical's way deep. Oh, so was Steve F1 actually.
He's going to have to defend from SRI into the penultimate corner because SRI will have the run as he's trying.
Is not quite close enough, but Critical's come sort of under enough pressure and he's off the racing line, comes back to it. Can he get slowed down? He can get it to in, get the front down, just about. Well, I was about to say when just as Critical's got a bit of deep. I was going to say this is a track where you can make a tiny error by braking such late on a corner, and you can lose a massive chunk of time even if you do stay on the track. Okay, Art Power, that gap opens up a bit more. Steve F1 is heading back to the pits.
Yeah. Jimmy's heading into the pits. SGP's heading back into the pits.
Oh, yeah, you know why, don't you?
Because that 6 stint lap.
No.
So they might not want to do it.
Well, maybe, but now there's only 10 laps remaining, so now they can do 2 5-lap stints. And they, so they're coming out of the pits now, just ahead of Nelly. Steve F1, so has he had a bit of a moment on the exit of turn 1 there?
I think he was tighter than kind of caught him out.
Quite possibly. I mean, to be honest, I was looking at SGP's car trying to kill Nelly. So these guys pitting again. They're not going to actually lose out that much by doing that extra pit stop because they're in the boost positions, so they'll be able to gain back to where they were with only 1 more pit stop to do, I believe. Okay, so Jimmy being passed. Jimmy may be running his engine on lean to save a little bit of that fuel. To be honest, I think he'd be better off turning in his engine back up because Nelly's
just go for it.
Yeah, go for it. The saving of the fuel won't really benefit you that much. I think you'd lose.
Oh, is he not wanting to spin his tyres up as much, and that's why he's doing it?
Oh, maybe. Critical! Sorry, he's all over the place on the bridge. Got very wide on the entry. Well, that could actually scupper SGP and Steve F1, because if they get past Critical, they then won't have boost. But yeah, sorry to... I thought I was going to see our first... it's not a hill, it's a bridge, victim.
The bridge of death.
Oh, SGP got a bit deep. And Steve F1's got a run on him here up through this left-hander. Critical is kind of defending his slipstream. Oh, SGP, is he holding on?
Here comes Nelly as well.
Yeah.
Nelly's looking. You just see him sticking his...
sticking his beak in. He did manage to get up alongside Steve F1. I'm wondering if Steve F1 is struggling a little bit with that particular corner. Because, SGP making the move into the final corner. Is he? No. Perhaps just trying to get Critical offline. And that will... Oh, Nelly. Oh, he's done well to not hit the barrier there. Yeah, if you can get someone off the line, someone heading into the corner, he can benefit you on the exit. Steve F1, is he attacking or defending? Defending.
Defending or try to get SGP to move as well, but they both take the same line there. So I don't think anybody's going to gain much other than it looks like Nelly. Nelly's going for it. Oh, he's hitting the brakes coming up the hill.
Yeah, I think he realised he had to back out of that one. I mean, SGP and Steve F1 were having the fastest lap times in practice and qualifying, and a big portion of that is from how they take the first sector.
Cool defending. That's like Steve F1 round the outside. Oh no, they're off.
Critical's wiggling all over the place so easily. That's just that may have just held up Steve F1 there. Jimmy now in the battle. Nelly, and yes, Nelly's just made 3 places. He'll be quite happy with that.
That was just a little mistake from Critical, and then Steve F1 had nowhere to go, and that gave Nelly the opportunities. SGP try to go around the outside. They have the inside for coming up to the bridge here, but he's not defending it.
No,
he's just taking the racing line, isn't he?
Yeah, well, it was already ahead. I mean, the outside line, if you can get it gripped, you can carry a lot of speed as Steve F1 now on Nelly. So yeah, I think SGP was just confident that Nelly wasn't going to chuck up the inside into the bridge. SGP going a little bit defensive, and yeah, I am not reacting to that at all. So yeah, here we go then. Nelly under pressure now from Steve F1 and Critical. See if SGP can break away, as we are 3 wide nearly.
So we'll see if Steve F1's getting more confident in this corner. He's side by side, kept on apex. Oh, I thought he was going to lose the back end there, but they're still side by side. What a good bit of racing. Critical's just sitting there waiting. No, he's going for it. He's going for it. Is he going to get it?
I don't know if he'll carry the speed.
Steve F1 on the marbles.
Oh, tags the barrier. The front 3 are in the pits, by the way. Demon are now taking the fuel, so Twilight is going to lead this race, but perhaps not for long. He's not got a lot of fuel in. Okay, so yeah, Twilight lead the race, and then right behind that we've got SGP, who has now got a bit of a gap to Nelly, Steve F1 and Critical. I'd be interested to see the line Steve F1 takes here. I expect it to be very tight here. Yep, and he'll be able to hold that inside line all the way through, which should give him a nice line through the right-handers, but Nelly's covered it off, and Critical gets in there as well. Now this is where he just needs to make sure there's enough space to have a look down the inside, but do you want to make the move up the inside here, or do you want to get a bit of a slipstream?
Critical's going to bump on the way. He's lining up, well, it looked like he was lining up Nelly, but Nelly's at the outer edge, so Critical's want to take the tighter line. But he kind of slid wide, I think. Maybe his tyres is going. When did he pit? Did he pit lap 4?
Nelly pitted lap 5. Steve F1 up the inside then. Critical. Be interested to see his tyres. I think his and Nelly's tyres. Yeah, and here comes Demon R as well. Jimmy is behind Critical. Demon R up the inside of Jimmy. Nelly a little bit up the inside of Steve F1. He manages to hold on to it, or Jimmy does as well. But so Demon R have been pitted. I don't know how this has really worked out in the grand scheme of things, because Steve F1's done 2 pit stops already. Got 1 to go, I think, and Demon R's got 1 to go. So I'm not sure Demon R's strategy is working for him at the moment. Wobble.
Don't know. We'll see.
Well,
you're asking me. I don't have a clue about strategies.
Well, that is very, very true. Okay, so SGP on the back of Twilight now. Twilight, I mentioned he hasn't got a lot of fuel. He's got quite a bit of tyre though, so if he can go another lap, if he can go another 2 laps, he'd be in a very good situation. SGP, with plenty of fuel and better tyres, goes round the outside and makes that move. Demon R right now, though, on the back of Nelly in the background. And this is where he will be finding fresh tyres versus old tyres. Has a bit of a benefit. Steve F1 trying to break away. SRI passing Jimmy, so he's not too far away either. Twilight trying to fight back, but hasn't quite got the grip there to do it.
Side by side, oh, that was close.
Yeah, Demon R just ahead. Yeah, look at Nelly's tyres, so they've got another lap in them, but they are going to be hurting a little bit here. Let's see, Steve F1, is he closing in on Twilight? Yes, he is. SRI closing in on the back of Nelly. But Ray, what starts with W and ends with T?
W and ends with T?
Yeah.
Wet?
It does, but it's not the answer I'm looking for. What starts with W and ends in T? Steve F1 making the move on Twilight. Twilight's tyres definitely suffering as Demon R now closing the gap. SRI is ahead of Nelly, and he will be trying to close the gap as well. Yes, SRI pitted at the same time, Stephen R. Nelly trying to come back at SRI, can't do it as SRI closes the door.
Yeah, I don't know.
Really?
It could be 1,001.
It could
words.
be 1,001 words, but interestingly, what starts with W and ends in T?
Okay.
Okay, Twilight now side by side with Demon R, or should I say Demon R side by side with Twilight. Okay, over the bridge they go. Artpal in the pack cam making a move on Jimmy, having a look at making a move on Nelly. Artpal with fresh tyres, and yeah, two of the cars now ahead of him on old tyres. Demon R, look at how much he's closed in on Steve F1, and this is without boost, this folks. Is this tyres? Yeah, it's got to be tyres, hasn't it?
Yeah, we'll see what happens here. Yeah, because they'll be going. They've got one pit stop to do, so it's whether do it this lap or next lap. I think it might be this.
11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. I think it'll be the next lap. I think they'll look at doing a 5-lap stint for the final stint. Yeah, SGP's not pitting. Steve F1 isn't pitting, but he's coming under a lot of pressure. I mean, for the front four though, now, because Twilight and Nelly, they're into the pits. For the front four, Demon R and SRI, Demon R making the move into turn 1 on Steve F1. Steve F1 might be able to carry the speed. Yeah, so Steve F1, SGP and Steve F1 think we're on the same strategy. Demon R, SRI, they're on the same strategy. But if you've got, yeah, the two leading cars at the moment, if they're going to be pitted at the end of this lap to do a 5-lap stint, if you're in Demon R or SRI's position, do you want to do another lap and pit a lap later? Because you might get massively undercut.
We'll soon find out.
We will. Okay, Demon R on the back of Steve F1 once again. Are we going to get a bit of a bump draft here? He's not been able to make the move so far. Steve F1's tyres are definitely hurt. He's got to, I think he'll be fit at the end of this lap. Demon R makes the move up into the left-hander. Can Steve hold on? He's
no. It's close.
We're both close.
As well.
Yeah, halfway around that corner it looked like Steve F1 was okay, and then we saw that there was still more corner to go. SRI is closing that gap. You know what? Artpal is not far behind either. I think Artpal is on the same strategy as SRI as well. Okay. But yeah, so if SGP and Steve F1 are going to be pitting at the end of this lap, they will come out with boost and gain quite a lot. But Demon R's tyres and SRI's tyres should still be quite good at the moment. Steve F1 trying to put some pressure on Demon R. Let's see how this goes. The more these battle, the more this will help SGP as well.
Yeah, I'll be slowing them down just a little bit. I think SGP would be just barely on a tyre management. Whatever you want to call it.
Stint.
Yeah.
Okay, so into the final corner we go. Let's see if heading to the pits.
SGP's headed.
Ooh,
Demon R.
Yeah. SRI hit the barrier. He's carried on though, I believe. Okay, so yeah, SRI has carried on, and Art Pal. I think Art Pal has.
It's a pity he's not on the screen.
It's hard to say. I think he must have pitted.
He's pit. He has. He's pit.
Okay, SGP coming out the pits. Demon R and Steve F1 coming out the pits with Nelly and Critical side by side. With them all Critical head first into the barrier. Good job, he's got a helmet on. Okay.
He still broke his nose when he had the hard one.
That he did. Okay, now Nelly, he pitted a lap or so ago. I don't think he can get to the end because I think SGP, Demon R and Steve F1 are going to struggle to get to the end from here. Nelly's going deep. Nelly's going off. Oh dear.
Let's see what time SRI lose to Artpal, because Artpal was, what was it, 5th, and SRI was 4th, so,
yes.
And SRI continued, so keep an eye on that.
Absolutely. I mean, it'd be a good idea to keep it on that, because it gives an idea of what could have happened if Demon R had stayed out with SRI as well. Artpal up the inside of Critical. Steve F1 and Demon R side by side through the left-hander. Last time they tried this, they both nearly ended up in the barrier, but now they're side by side. Oh, a little bit of a switch to the inside. Artpal trying to make a move on Critical, but it's not quite close enough. I think Critical's gone deep. Critical went into the bridge very quick, but no, he's all right. Artpal backed out of it then, and is now under pressure from Nelly. SGP has, well, he's not broken away as he's kept the gap that he had before he pitted.
Yeah. See.
Okay.
That's fine. All Critical was deep.
Yeah, that he was. Artpal making the move on the run up the hill. Oh, Critical, there's a car there. Be careful, young man. Okay, Demon R's backed off a little bit, or should I say Steve F1 has pulled away a little bit. Wanting the second, third and fourth. Oh, it's Steve F1!
For it.
I'm not sure if it was Demon R was going for it. I think if Steve F1 was a bit wide. You know what might be happening there? I mentioned earlier on that Steve F1 has been sort of losing a bit of time in that corner. I'm wondering if he's trying to get faster through the corner and braking a little later, and it's not working. Yeah, maybe braking a little earlier might be more beneficial. SRI into the pits. Artpal passing the pit exit, and SRI is just now putting a touch of fuel in. So I think the gap between those two is going to be quite big. It's going to be massive. There's Artpal now, and SRI is just going into turn 1.
That's what she said.
Jesus Christ, that's dumb. Okay, so Demon R was bump drafted Steve F1 out of turn 1, now having a bit of a look, or maybe just different lines. Oh, that's a very different line, as we've got 4 laps to go.
Yeah, I lost a wee bit of time with being out that wide. Don't know if he had to lift, so he didn't end up on the grass.
Maybe.
There in the background, you can see there's Artpal. Well, you can't see it in this camera angle, but you can see Artpal and you can see how far back SRI was.
Yeah, Twilight's having a big spin on the pack cam. When we get to see in the distance, yeah, we saw Artpal, Nelly, Jimmy's there as well. Even old Steve F1. Oh, Steve F1's deep! Oh, into the barrier. So easily done. Demon R going to try going round the outside. As on the pack cam, we've got Jimmy attacking someone. Demon R, can he hold this on around the outside? We're going to have the inside for the next corner. Nelly has made the move on Jimmy.
Yep.
There you go then.
You can see SRI and Jimmy's mirror.
Oh yeah. Okay, as these two make their way into the tricky left-hander, Steve F1 drops in behind. It'd be interesting to see if Steve F1 perhaps sort of backs off to see how Demon R's taking the right-hander that's coming up. So I don't think Steve F1 will have the confidence at the moment to attempt the move there, because he's been losing time. Yeah, see, he's backed off a little bit. Yeah, I think he's run a bit wide. I think he backed off a little bit there just to see what Demon R was doing. And maybe, now he's got a great run, which could benefit him all the way to turn 1.
He's looking. Demon R's got the gap for it.
Steve F1, he can look, can't touch. Okay, in the foreground, or background there actually, is SGP heading into turn 1. SRI on the back of Jimmy, who's on the back of Nelly. I'm surprised actually that SRI hasn't made a couple more places yet. But I suppose at this point, Ray, all of these guys' tyres are going to be of a similar condition. Nelly, let's see, Nelly won't be getting boost. SRI, well, he's so close to Nelly, he won't now be getting boost. Perhaps pick and choose where you make an attack here, boys, and see if you can make a move stick and then break away. Steve F1 on the back camp's got a run on Demon R, but isn't going for into the hairpin.
Nelly's defending the hairpin. SRI's trying to open the corner, but he never made the apex, so he was a little bit wide there. Well, he had the run. He should have the run here, but depends if he takes. He's not taking burn draft. He's going for it. He's trying his best.
Yeah, and Steve F1 bump drafting Demon R down the back straight, and is they holding position? Yep, looks like it, just about. Or maybe not, just tagged the barrier. SRI has made the move on Nelly. I mean, interestingly, Nelly defended the hairpin, didn't he? I must admit, I don't think I would bother defending the hairpin, because if someone goes up the inside of you there, you're going to come back past them down the straight. So, yeah, I wouldn't, go for the racing line. Which critical nearly clatters the barrier, but manages to sneak up alongside Jimmy, and may even have a look at making a run on Nelly.
As we come into this lucky section, you see the cars bouncing. Oh, I think too much curb.
Yeah.
I am too much curb. The car just kind of gets stuck there, and then the wheel pops over it, and it bounces a wee bit and spins you around.
Quite possibly. I was just watching Steve F1 through the front of my corner again. He's definitely taken it different now to what he was earlier in the race. Nelly got Jimmy trying to attack him as we get to the start-finish line. There will be 2 laps remaining, and the question then will be, Jimmy, can he make the move? Oh, he's got a bit deep. That's going to be very deep. Oh, into the barrier. It was worth a try, but Nelly manages to hop on. Who's got enough fuel and who's got enough tyres?
Big questions.
Well, SGP's looking comfortable on his tyres.
Yeah, Demon R as well.
Yep.
Steve F1.
Yeah, they're not.
Art
Pal's about the same. He's on the
SRI's getting too much fuel.
Well, yeah, he's got plenty of fuel, but he has got plenty of tyre. Okay, Nelly's been passed by Jimmy. I think Nelly's struggling a bit on the tyres. Rich Blues has got the freshest ones, I do believe. Okay, so Steve F1 may have a bit of a run here on Demon R. I think if Steve F1 can get past Demon R, I don't know if he's going to be able to catch SGP, because there's no offset between them on tyres. And down this straight last lap, we saw Steve F1 do a bit of bump drafting. Not on this occasion, wasn't close enough, but is close enough to attempt to move up the inside, sending Demon R a little bit wide onto the dirty side of the track, and he may try and hold the brakes into the hairpin, not the hairpin, into the bridge, but the tight line is a slow line.
Yeah, second inside there, but I think Steve F1, now that he's behind SGP, it's just trying to keep as many points as possible so that SGP can't close that gap of points in too much.
Absolutely.
You see that bounce in the cars, don't you?
Absolutely.
Steve F1 a little bit deep, but I think he's just going to hold on.
Yeah.
We'll see the difference between Demon R and Steve F1 through this penultimate corner. No, we're not.
No,
we're going to Delhi, Jimmy.
And that we are. I was going to say as well, Steve F1's tyres did take a little bit of a battering on that second half of the lap.
Critical gone? He was on the back of these. He's dropped back.
He had the spin, didn't he?
Oh yeah. Oh Nelly!
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I didn't
Eddie.
see. I didn't see exactly.
He lost it. He just lost it. Putting the power on too early.
You know what? We've missed it. No, we haven't. Steve F1 made the move already, hasn't he? So yeah. So Steve F1's still ahead of Demon R. Then yeah, I think if I was Nelly, I'd dive into the pits.
Critical's flashing.
Oh dear.
He's flashing.
Well, hopefully he's got enough fuel for this final lap. Demon R still on the back of Steve F1. Critical on the back of Jimmy. Jimmy should have plenty of fuel. We'll tell you what, look at the pack cap. Demon R getting very close to the back of Steve F1. Different lines being used though. Yeah, look, the gap's actually opening up now between that right tender. Okay. Well, if you're in critical position, what do you do? Lift and coast, turn the engine down, or go for it and hope for the best? Jimmy's
still able to keep ahead here. Jimmy's doing very well here, but SRI isn't catching Arpal.
No, you're absolutely right. Jimmy got a little sideways there. Yeah, SRI sharing the slipstream on the pack. And we can see Demon R still behind Steve F1. I think Demon R struggling on his tyres a little bit. Critical, can he get the move done? Jimmy's going deep into the barrier. Very easily done. He might even end up into the barrier again. Yes, he has. Interest. Oh, he's not stopping. Or is he? Yeah. I mean, okay. Remember that.
Oh, look at that gap. That's all him down.
It does. Remember that moment. We'll talk about it after the race. There's Nelly in the background, just nearly hit the bridge. Critical, is he going to go flick it to the left? Jimmy's defending. Critical goes to the right, but it hits the bridge. SRI slowing down quite a bit. Perhaps he's concerned about his tyres going off, but he should have the fresher tyres of the bunch there. Okay, the front... Or
is he backing Jimmy up to critical so they two battle and SRI can have decent quiet?
Maybe.
Here we come.
Well,
here's SGP.
Yep, he's got not much tyre left, but he's only got one corner to go. Steve F1's got a gap on Demon R now, so it looks like SGP. Yeah, he is going to take the victory here at St. Croix. That's 2 in a row for him. Exactly what he needs. Steve F1 is going to cross the line in 2nd place, with Demon R in 3rd. You were right about Arpal and SRI. Arpal holding that gap on SRI, so 4th and 5th. Jimmy holds on. Oh! Well, Nelly's spinning. Rich Blues is going to cross the line in 8th. Twilight got 7th. Jimmy got 6th. Critical was going very, very slow. I think he's out. He's out of fuel. Yeah. He found the no-no square. Or the no-go square.
Yeah.
Okay, can Nelly catch him? Unfortunately, no, he can't because he's got no tyres left. Yeah, okay, so... Interesting race there. Hopefully you can still hear me. I just leant back and my headphones went ba-doop.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, that's all right. So,
can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you fine, thank you. Yep. Not reacting. Okay, yeah, very interesting race there. Apologies if commentary seemed less exciting today. I'm just absolutely exhausted, and normally, you know, I am quite animated when I do commentary, not that anyone can see it, like my arms are all over the place. I lean forward, I lean back, I move about, but because of technical issues, I've got a wire connecting my headset to my computer and it restricts me from moving about, so yeah, I couldn't get as animated. Oh, excuse me. But regarding the championship, very interesting with SGP taking the win again. He'll gain a few points on Steve F1, but Steve F1 has gained on Demon R again. SGP will have gained a little bit on Demon R. Critical though, I think that could have been quite a painful result on the standings, because he was in 4th place, wasn't he, in the standings? but with Art Pal, SRI, and half the grid finishing ahead of him there, yeah, it could make a bit of a change.
Because they were pretty close, weren't they? Well,
I think
they were all within like a couple of points of each other.
Yeah, there was not a lot in it from what I can remember. Now, for anyone that is listening right now, there is not going to be another race before the new year. The next race is after the new year. So, yeah, hope everybody has a great Christmas. And if anybody turns up on Thursday for practice, I won't be there. And if anyone turns up for the race on Monday, only Connor's going to be there.
So, Critical was on 47, SRI 41, nearly 39, and Artpal 38. So, I'm going to change about a wee bit.
Yeah, if positions haven't changed, they're going to be very, very close on the points anyway. Right, I mentioned about something we could talk about after the race. Do you remember what it was? I remember what it was.
Yeah. It was
it was Jimmy and Critical.
I didn't do fucking shit!
Oh, you were trying to find the sound. Oh, right, okay. Yeah.
It was Jimmy and Critical side by side coming up after the long straight, and Jimmy hitting
the barrier.
Barry a couple of times.
Yeah, so what I was going to say, because I think they were side by side-ish, sort of heading towards the corner. But I just wonder if you've gone wide, bounced off the barrier a couple of times, should you be ended up ahead of the car you were side by side with? And it's an interesting. If it had been reported, it'd have been an interesting one to have to make a decision on.
Personally, I wouldn't be overtaken if I've hit the barrier a couple of times, because it could seem like what do you call it again? Wall riding a wee bit.
Yeah. I mean, obviously, I don't think
it wasn't
intentional.
Really intentional, and it wasn't really a hard hit on it, but it kind of helped him round the corner and stay there. If that barrier wasn't there, he would have been going off.
If that barrier wasn't there, we'd have been in the fucking river under the bridge. But yeah, so I mean, it is a bit of an interesting one. Yeah. Okay. Right.
That's where he feels it's wrong or doesn't like how it went, and send it a page. It's the only way stewards can discuss it, and Jimmy will. If it was in favour of Critical, Jimmy would be let know, like, you can't do that, this is why, and whatnot. And if it wasn't, it'll be like there wasn't much in it.
I mean, that's
that better understanding to the drivers.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. Jimmy may not know exactly what happened there. And it's one of those things, unless someone brings it to his attention, may never know. But the way it will get brought to his attention, potentially, is if things are reported. But yeah, I mean, the only other way things get brought to attention is when Demon R does a super special G-spot like he did on Connor. Maybe I'll try and get another one done in the near future. Okay, next track. Might as well talk about that a little bit, because I think some of the drivers are going to struggle at the next track. Two are going to struggle because they don't know it. And I must admit, there's been a couple of races in this championship where I've thought, you know what, I think a couple of drivers would have been helped if there'd have been a lap guide, which is obviously something I used to do and haven't done for a while. Maybe it's something I should perhaps look at for tracks that only for tracks that we very rarely drive on, that people don't really know. The question is though, right? Do you remember what the next track is?
No, but I'll find out. It's one of the Scaries, isn't it?
No.
No,
No,
not
Ascari is a set of corners at Monza. You were correct with the A.
Alsace.
Alsace. Yeah, so very tricky track that. You know what? It's kind of a Brands Hatch track. It's Marmite. You're either going to love it or you hate it. The reason you'll hate it is because you can't stay on the road. The reason you can't stay on the road is because you haven't got the rhythm of the track yet. Until you get the rhythm of the track, you'll probably hate that circuit. But once you get the rhythm, it is a joy to drive. It's a joy to race on. You can have a proper good battle around there, and there are some brilliant corners. But yeah, so it'll be interesting to see how everyone gets on with that. But at least now, if they want to get some practice in, obviously there is a couple of weeks for everybody to be able to do that.
See who has
secret practice.
Yeah. We'll see who's went and got pitched for Christmas, and we'll see who's been secret practicing.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Okay, anything else you want to talk about before we're done, Ray?
I don't know. I don't know.
No, there isn't anything you have to talk about. It's just if there's anything that you wanted to talk about. No.
I don't know. Is there anything we need to talk about?
No, not that I can think of. Just other than
Have a good weekend.
Yeah. Have a good Christmas. Don't drink and drive.
Yeah. Have a good Christmas.
Yeah.
Be careful where you stay at Christmas parties and who you invite in your room.
Absolutely.
You know why that happened? It's because we talked about Gaza and his antics.
Oh god.
And then when the light gets switched off, I went,
what would Gaza
fuckers."
do?
Yeah.
I don't know. Oh, actually, you know what? There is something that I could do with your help with. How do you fix a noisy dishwasher?
Put a sock in her mouth.
I was going to say gaffer tape her mouth, but oh dear.
What's a nice thing to hear at Christmas, but a terrible thing to hear in a Mexican prison?
Jingle bells?
Jesus loves you.
Oh god. Oh dear. Yeah. And on that happy Christmas bombshell, let's have a look at the confirmed race result and the championship standings. So thank you, Ray, for joining us on commentary.
No worries, it's been a pleasure, and thank you to everybody, drivers, admins behind the scenes, that people don't really get to see what they do, and yourself with all the videos and whatnot. And I better say thank you to my the co-owner for brushing his teeth the next morning. Yeah,
I'm saying nothing.
Don't know how much me and Steve F1 were giggling like little children.
We do.
That I've just seen a pair of boobs or something for the first time.
I don't know. Yeah, filthy animals. Right, let's go and have a look at those result and standings. So SGP with the victory in the maximum 20 points, Steve F1 second place with 17, Demon R in third with 15 points, and then Art Pal stealing Critical's fourth place from the last few races, 13 points for him. SRI fifth place, scores 12 points, while Jimmy, great finish for him in sixth place on 11, Twilight in seventh place on 10 points, and then Rich Blues in eighth on 9. Critical, as we saw, running out of fuel at the end of the race, plummeted a few positions positions. Ninth place for him, 8 points. And then at the back, spinning with no tyres, was Nelly in 10th place on 7 points. Right, let's have a look at what that's done to the standings. Steve F1 still leading the way on 94 points, but SGP has closed that gap a little more, so it's now only 8 points between the two of them. Demon R, though, third place, 17 points off the lead. That might be an out of the championship position. Critical, now this is the bit that me and Ray were talking about on commentary. From here down, it's going to be tight. Critical in fourth place still with 55 points, but now the gap is only 2 points to SRI in fifth, who's 2 points ahead of Artpal in sixth. Ever so close between the three of those. But Nelly's actually not that far away, so 7th place, 46 points for him. He's definitely still in that battle. Jimmy, if he keeps having good results like he has, you never know, could close that gap as well. Well, he's in 8th place on 31 points, 3 ahead of Rich Blues in 9th place. Jason drops to 10th place with him not being able to race this week, 26 points for him. Bob also dropping a couple of places in 11th place on 21, so there's definitely a lot to fight for that 8th place with Jimmy, Rich, Jason and Bob, and yeah, Twilight in there as well. 12th place, 17 points, obviously missed the first 3 races of the championship, so it'll be interesting to see how far up the leaderboard he can get. Then we've got Hay in 13th place on 12 points and Formula Gary in 14th on 8. Gary also unable to race this week, which is kind of understandable as we know it's getting closer to Christmas, which is why we're not having another race this coming Monday, because it is too close to Christmas. So yeah, the next league race is going to be in the new year, so there won't be any race videos until then. Okay, I think that's just about all the waffle you're going to get from us in 2024. It's not necessarily been the best of years, but it's also definitely not been the worst. So from all of us at the Dynamic GT League, we wish you a happy Christmas. Whatever you are doing, just try and make the most of it. Have a smile. Please don't drink and drive. It is not worth it. But yeah, have a great one, folks, whatever it is that you are doing. Yeah, that's it. There's nothing really else to add now. So thanks for listening, watching. You know what to do. Like, subscribe, hit notifications bell. Have a great Christmas, and we'll see you all in the new year.